We're living in an interesting time right now. We're living in a time when people are realizing that the way that we have been doing things in our society maybe isn't serving our greatest good. And we're realizing that in order to change the way that the world operates, there needs to be some deeper healing of ourselves, both on a personal level and on a larger scale as well. People are starting to remember what really matters, in a sense. I think this was exacerbated by the global pandemic. People are sort of returning back to their roots in the sense of, what does it mean to be an individual? What does it mean to have a purpose? And what does it mean to individually live out that purpose in a way that contributes to the society at large? People are trying to find their place. People are trying to find their place within themselves, within their culture, within their society, and within the world. People feel like they don't have a place because the society, the culture isn't necessarily serving them. What we as a collective have chosen as our reality doesn't serve the individual human soul and the human spirit. In fact, it pulls us away from ourselves. And it has been pulling us away from ourselves for thousands of years. We've sort of been on this trajectory of separation of physical and spiritual. And I think we've reached a point where that has gotten as far, those two, spirituality and physicality, have gotten as far away from each other as they possibly could. And now we need to come back. We need to bridge physical and spiritual together again. We need to remember that life and the human experience is an innately spiritual experience, and therefore to try to extract spirituality from our human experience, there's nothing left. That's why we feel alone. That's why we feel depressed and anxiety-ridden, because we've tried to take away what's real about life, what's real about ourselves, what's real about the human experience, is that it is a spiritual experience. And we need to reinfuse spirituality back into the way that we live our lives. That is the antidote. That is the antidote to fear. That is the antidote to hopelessness. That is the antidote to apathy. That is the antidote to self-hatred, self-harm. That is an antidote to addiction. We have to come back home to ourselves. And the home that we need to come back to is a spiritual home. It is a home of remembering our connection with all living things. It is a home of realizing that our world is so much more than what we can experience with our 5 physical senses. And when we start allowing ourselves to move into that vast expansion of what it means to be alive and the mystery of being alive, that is when we start to live life alive. That is when we have wholeness and joy and peace and freedom and fulfillment and connection and bliss. That is healing. That is true healing.